A fisherman named Jack emailed me and he told me he's seen a siren in deep waters twice and he's starting to have feelings for her. He said he has not told anyone in his real life, including his wife, but he thinks that if anyone's going to believe him, it's going to be me and the people on this channel. So I'm going to tell you what he said. Jack is not his real name, by the way, but he said he's been a fisherman for 18 years. His father did it before him, his grandfather before that, and it's not pretty work, but it's honest. It's long days and even longer nights. He's out of Gloucester, Massachusetts. I'm probably butchering that. I'm so sorry. And he runs a gill netter. I think that's a type of boat, and he hauls mostly cod and haddock. In his email, he said, I always thought I'd die on the water someday, but now I think I know how. And that, honestly, when I read that, just like shook me. He said the first time he saw her was sometime last year. He was standing by the rail on the boat. They were hauling in the last set of the day. I think that means the last catch of the day. They were about 10 miles off the coast of Thatcher Island, if that's familiar to anyone. He's standing there stretching and he sees something bobbing in the water. And he doesn't really think anything of it because he thinks it's just a marine animal. But in a matter of seconds, it bobbed closer to the boat and it had a woman's face and she was pale. He said she had long black hair that floated behind her. At first, he actually thought it was seaweed. And he said her eyes, Jesus, her eyes weren't right. He said her eyes were too dark, too deep. He said, I swear to you, Ashley, it was like her eyes were peeling me open. So he was just staring at her. He said he couldn't move, even though he wanted to call out to the other guys or take his phone out or do something. And then she smiled at him, but it wasn't a friendly smile. He said it was insidious, like she knew something he didn't. Then she disappeared under the water. It was like a split second, like she was gone. Then the boat started acting weird. Their GPS cut out for no reason. Their radios weren't working properly. A couple weeks later, he thought he heard a woman humming on the deck, but he was alone. He said he thought he was just tired and losing it a little bit. They were working a lot and he does not believe in sirens or mermaids or anything like that. But then he saw her again. He said they were out past Stellwagen Bank. None of this is familiar to me, so I'm so sorry. Please somebody correct me. He said it was a calm night, barely a ripple on the water. He's out on the boat having a smoke. He said it was dead silent except for the lapping of the water against the boat, and he looks out and about 10 yards away, he sees her again just floating there looking at him. And he said then she whispered his name. He said even though she was far away, he heard it like it was somebody whispering right in his ear. He said he had chills head to toe. He says he hasn't seen her since, but there's an old fisherman's tale among old timers in his area and the people he grew up with, which is once a siren sets her eyes on you, you're marked. He said that they say that you can go inland, get as far away from the water as you want, but it doesn't matter. She'll call you back. And when you go, you don't come home. Now, the thing is, even though he hasn't seen her, he admitted in his email that he has started to have dreams about her face floating in the water. But he's not disgusted by it. He's curious. He wants to see her again. He said when his wife kisses him now, he kind of recoils because he feels like he's cheating on this woman floating in the water. He said he's not told his crew. He has not told his wife. That's part of the reason he wanted to be anonymous. He says he doesn't know what she wants, but he knows she's waiting. He said he will be going back on the water because that's his job. That's his family's livelihood. And he doesn't know if he can resist her. A couple things about this. This story was actually sent in to me in December. So I hadn't actually even gotten to this email yet. I searched my inbox because somebody yesterday had said, oh, do you have any stories about mermaids or sirens? So I searched both terms. And this is the only story that I have related to either of those topics. I hope Jack is okay. I haven't heard from him since. I obviously emailed him back this morning saying I was going to cover his story. But yeah, I don't even know if he knows I'm making this video or if he'll see this video, but let me know your thoughts. Do you think it's just his mind playing tricks on him? I feel like I've heard that if someone's out at sea for a long time, you start seeing things like the same as if you're in the desert, you start hallucinating. But I told my husband I was going to do this video and I read him the email and he was like, oh, there was a video a couple months ago that went pretty viral of a guy who caught a siren singing. So I looked it up and it's in the same area. I don't know the same area specifically in the ocean, but it's off the coast of Massachusetts. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Also, I have a siren tattoo. See? Anyway, keep sending me your spooky, scary stories.